Hi, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. And if you like watching, please don't forget to hit the like button, as it really does help my channel to grow. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the little bell so that you're notified each time that I upload a video. Thank you. Today I'm going to be working with this beautiful lace die set that I bought on Amazon, and it was very inexpensive. I think it was $7.99. I have it a few months, but I'll link it below in the description bar if you'd like to purchase it. And I've used it before. It's beautiful for a wedding card or anniversary or engagement, anything like that. Now it comes in these different pieces. So you've got you've got four pieces. But I'm going to start with the outline piece. Now when it comes, it's all attached and you have to detach it yourself. But I'm going to use this piece. It's an A4 sheet of white linen cardstock, and I've just scored it roughly across the middle. So I'm going to use this as my card base. And I'm going to just slightly go off the edge here with the die in order to keep the card base intact. So I'll be using this for my card base. So I'm just going to put a piece of low-tack tape just across the top there to hold it in place. And I'm going to run that through my Gemini machine. And I'm coming in with my plates. And I'm finding, since they've got a bit worn like this, that it's actually damaging the cardstock. You're getting kind of a print on it. So I'm going to put it inside this piece of paper with the hopes that it may not leave so much of a print on it. So I'll just pop my other layers down there. And we'll run that through the die cut machine. And because it's a thick piece of cardstock, I ran it through it twice. So I'm just hoping that it will have gone the whole way through. And I think it has, because it's actually cut through the paper as well. So just going to remove that. And as you can see, because I went over the edge, it's still intact. So therefore I can use this as my card base and have the lovely shape. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through again with the outline die and the lacy insert die. So I'm just going to pop a bit of tape again on that. And I find if you put the tape on the outside and not on the inside, it's best, because that way, if you're unfortunate enough for it to tear, you know, it's this part that will have torn and it's not damaged the piece that you're working on. So I'll just go through again with the Gemini. And that's popped out quite easily, as you can see. So I'm just going to remove those little bits that didn't fall out. And like that, look how easy they do fall out. It's a beautiful die for the money that I paid for it, I must say. That was the paper piece on the back. That's probably why it didn't pop out so easily. But as you can see, that's popped out really well there. So I'm just coming back in there now with my card base. And as you'll see, that'll go over and it'll hide the pieces that are missing here on the edge. So next I'm going to come back again with the rest of that sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to cut these out. And you know what, I think I'm going to cut them out separately just so I have that nice layered effect. And again, I'm going to need to pop a bit of tape down just to hold them in place because I don't want them moving around. Well, if for nothing else, I have found in the past, if you have a couple of dies in at the same time and they move, you can end up actually damaging your dies. You know, if one ends up on top of the other, it cuts through and the pressure is quite heavy. So it can cause some damage. So my tip would be to use the low tack tape, if for nothing else, to protect your dies. I'm just going to get some more paper for that. And I absolutely love my Gemini machine, but I don't know, the plates just don't last at all. You know, these things, they're not the best quality in my opinion. They really need to, I think, rethink it, because they're quite expensive if you have to keep repurchasing them all the time. I'm just going to run through the machine with this again. And there we go. And the piece of paper on top most certainly has helped protect the cardstock. So as you can see, they'll layer really, really nicely there. And we're going to put a few embellishments on there now as well. Now this card is going to be an engagement card. So I've just got this stamp set that I purchased. It was on a magazine. And I've got this little piece here, this little stamp saying you're getting married. So I'm going to use that one. And I've decided that I'm going to turn the card this way because that stamp will fit very nicely if I turn it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. Just getting my acrylic block. So just pop that down there. Just make sure it's straight. And I'm coming in with my VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. That lovely black. And I've decided this card will be black and white. Should be very elegant, I think. It's always a winning combination. So I'm going to ink that up. Just make sure of enough ink on it. And just pop that down there in the centre. And because it's a sentiment stamp, I'm not going to lean too heavily. I find if you lean very heavily on the words, it distorts that lovely crisp image that you get. So I'm just going to leave it there for a few seconds and just lightly press down on it and hope for the best. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So just replace my lid there on my ink. And next I'm going to come in and I'm going to layer up this lovely card. So I'm going to use some double-sided foam tape because it just builds it up nicely. Just remove the backing from that. And now I want to make sure that this layers properly on top of this one. So I'm just going to turn it this way because I find it'll make it a bit easier. So basically, just so you can see there, I'm just lining up the end here and the sides. And if I can get that down properly, the rest of it should fall into place. Now I'm not liking, I haven't pressed it hard yet, but I'm not liking the way you can see the tape through that, so I'm just going to rectify that. So that's fine, it lifted quite easily. So I just fix that. So next I'm going to come in with another bit of double-sided tape for this one. And again, I want to get the positioning correct with it. I think that looks fairly good. There we go. And then finally, it's our sentiment one, which again, I'm going to use a bit of double-sided tape. And centre it correctly. I'm just going to use that to lean on so that I don't smudge the ink with my fingers. It's quite warm here, so my fingers can get quite clammy. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bow with this little piece of black lace. So it's just a simple little bow. Let's pull that through. And even it out. And just want to cut it there. The same with that side. Just if you double it over and cut it, you get that nice little detail. Excuse me. And this one wasn't done evenly, and it doesn't seem to want to open either. But I guess it doesn't have to open. See if I can manipulate it a little bit. No, it wants to stay as it is, so I'm happy enough with that. Now it's just deciding where I'm going to put. I think I'll make this one a little bit shorter as well. Where I want to put it. And the little flowers. Yeah, I think if I can maybe flatten that one down that way, that they look nice down there. So I'm just coming in now with my glue gun and I'm going to pop them down. Because the card is so fancy with the lacy part, you don't have to go overboard with the embellishments. So I think the two of them look quite pretty there. And just this little bow, making it a little bit smaller. And again, pop a bit of glue on that. Just pop it down there. So I might like to come in and put a little flower just on top of the bow, just to finish it off, I think. And yeah, I think that one would look quite pretty. So just place that there. So the next thing I want to do is I'd like to put a little insert on here. So I'm just coming in with this white linen paper and I want to create an insert for inside that card. So I'm going to need to cut it down. It needs to be a bit smaller than that. Let's see. Just want it to fit inside. Just run my bone folder over that. And I'm also going to need to trim it. So it'll be inside that line that I'll be trimming it. Probably doing this backwards, but I'm sure it will be fine. And just trim that end piece off as well. There we go. Now the next thing I want to do is, I have this little, it's an Irish blessing. It says, may flowers always line your path, sunshine light your day, may songbirds serenade you every step along the way. May a rainbow run beside you in a sky that's always blue, and may happiness fill your heart each day your whole life through. So I think that that would be lovely on the inside of the card. And I'm just going to pop that down on my acrylic block and ink it up with the VersaFine Claire in Nocturne. Now, as I haven't used this stamp in a little while, I'm going to just have a practice run on that to make sure that it's okay. And it is. I just need to make sure that I have it inked up properly everywhere. And like that, if I have stamps that I haven't used in a while, I'll always check them first on a piece of scrap paper, because you don't want to have to go and waste a whole other sheet to create this piece again. I mean, it's not a very large card, but you're still using your A4 sheet. Now that's dirty. I don't want to destroy my card, so just clean that ink off there. And just making sure this turned the right way. And I'm going to pop that down. And again, because they're words, I don't want to overpress. Just distort them if I do. And there we go. Now the end of it didn't turn out perfectly, and funnily enough, the trial one was the same. I wonder what that's about. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I can actually come in with my pen. I'm just wiping that off. Have a little a pigment ink pen that I'm just going to fill in those ones that didn't completely come out right. Yeah, that looks better. Quot, and there's an E there, isn't there? So you need a steady hand for this, but I think that looks better. So I just coming in with a little bit of narrow double-sided tape, and I'm breaking off a little bit. So I'm going to pop that down. Let me see. I'll want it to go there. And that can be popped then just right up to the line. And I'm just going to close that down on top of it there and press. And then you'll find when you open it up, oh, this is obviously wasn't dry, so leave it dry. But basically, that's what it will be like on the inside. There isn't a whole load of room really to write with that verse, looking at it now, but yeah, I may change that. Okay, so I decided to change that insert and just go with a simple congratulations so that there's room to write on it. So this is the finished card. And I'm very pleased with that. I think it's very pretty, very easy to make with the die. Definitely worth the investment in my opinion. Like that, be beautiful for communion, confirmation, wedding, anniversary. You know, engagement, anything like that. I think it's really, really pretty. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, please hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And don't forget, hit the bell so that you're notified each time that I upload. Thank you so much.